Hello and welcome to today's broadcast of Help, I Can't Stick to My Diet. I'm Lauren Foster with Be Happy First, and I have special guest Samantha Eaton with me of Healthy Eaton. Samantha is the certified life coach, I'm a certified life coach. Samantha is a certified health coach, and she embraces all of the principles that I like to teach, that everything starts first in your head. Everything starts first in your mindset, that you want to not be a mind dash set. You don't want your mind to be set. You want your mind to be open to new ideas. So in order to promote the upcoming Life Mastery class, which is all about managing your health, managing your fitness, being in love with your body, all of the things, all of the ways in which your thinking and your vibration and the attitudes that you have about yourself and your life affect what happens with your body. We're going to study that the whole month of August. So Samantha is here to help us with some of the practical aspects of that, and some of the, we've all had this experience where we find a diet plan or something like that we think is going to work for us, but we can't do it. We can't stick to it. And so we're going to talk about some of the things, the reasons behind that and ways to solve that. So welcome, Samantha. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
Fun, isn't it? Yeah, we really like it. So say hello when I'm not a master of the Facebook's live thing and the comments and things. So say hello when you get here and let us know that you're here. And if I see it, I'll say hello back. And if not, I'll just say thank you in advance for doing that. So Samantha, it seems as if everybody is on a diet. Everybody wants to be smaller. Everybody wants to make changes to the way their bodies look and feel. And you're almost an outlier if you're not on a diet. So tell us why you think this is.
Yeah, that is so true. When I ask women what their health goals are, the absolute number one thing that they tell me is that they want to lose weight, and they want to even on just that lower number on the scale. They want to feel happy, confident, comfortable with their body. They want to get dressed without having to get changed 5 times. They want to look in the mirror and not hate what they see. They're also sick of counting calories and feeling controlled and obsessed with food, relying on their fails most of the time anyway. And I totally get that, because that was me and my goal for years. And from kind of by the diet industry and society in general, that our bodies are the enemy and they aren't good enough and they need to be fixed and changed, and they can't. That achieving that perfect body would automatically give them happiness, success, overall feelings of amazingness. And we're taught that we kind of these cravings that we're feeling with willpower and self-discipline, and that if we don't or can't, then we feel shame or guilt or disappointment. When in reality, if, for example, you ate less calories that day than your body actually needs, of course you're going to binge at night. That's just in your biology. You a failure, it makes you a successful human being. We're taught that the best way to fix ourselves and to achieve that body of our dreams is controlling, restriction, rules, because if we don't eat 100% perfectly all the time, we're never going to get the results we're looking for. And chips or cookies to be off limits, then we would just go crazy and eat them all day long, because our bodies can't be trusted. So we need rules. That's what we're told, so that's exactly what we do, or at least try to do. But when each diet or weight loss attempt inevitably fails us, the cycle returns to yet another diet in hopes that that one will bring us everything we're looking for. And it's kind of because of all of the crazy restrictions that we put we're kind of left with bodies that are so out of whack that we're kind of forced to keep riding that up, down, restrict, binge, good, bad diet, and that we don't know what else to do or what other options are even out there that might actually work. And we're left feeling like failures, and it traps even the small and feel exhausted and confused and self-loathing, which makes us just desperate enough to try one more diet. This is the one that we hope will be the one that fixes us until it doesn't, and then that frustrating, disturbing cycle begins all over again. which is hard.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to say that back. We keep trying different things from the outside and are not in harmony with our bodies and are not giving our bodies what they need. And we fail and we beat ourselves up and we try again and we ourselves up. So and there's so many of us who really are overweight, just the nature of our society and the way that we eat. And even more, most of us are not necessarily overweight or not very much overweight, but still very dissatisfied. So those are the conditions that are happening right now. What's the answer? How do we fix it?
Yeah. So I know a lot of people think, especially if all the diet's fault. So I want to kind of address that as well. So I want you to think back to when you first decided, I want to lose a weight that is to lose. So what did you decide to do in that situation? Maybe you decided to eat less, go on a diet, eat clean. Any of those things that you would have picked potentially all have one thing in common, and that thing is restriction. So food you're letting yourself eat, restrictions of the types of food you're letting yourself eat, restrictions of your mindset, and all the stipulations that you're now thinking about. And with each of those, I guess, methods that I mentioned above, the premise is that if you follow that way of eating perfectly, you will lose weight. Cravings for bad food will go away and you'll just naturally eat things that are healthy. Or along the same lines, if you're craving junk food because you're not eating perfectly for a little bit of time will kind of heal you of that and you won't crave those anymore. So I want to debunk that. It's kind of back to what all of those things have in common. And I'm going to refer to all of that as a diet just to make terminology easier. So the closest thing biologically to a diet is what happens when you restrict food, either the types of food you're eating or how much food you're eating. Your body goes into this crisis mode and it believes that there's a shortage of food and that there's a famine. And this triggers a whole chain of events that naturally happen in our body based on our biology. So what's happening is our body immediately slows down, and instead of burning fat for fuel, it burns muscle tissue. It fixates on food to our survival. It also produces this hormone, and I think this is cool, that makes food in general look way better and more appetizing than it really, especially things like sugar and carbs for energy and to promote fat storage. At the first chance it gets, your body is going to want to binge too. Like all day or all week, being really good, eating healthfully, not overeating, but then at night or on the weekend, you go crazy and food like you haven't eaten in days, because that's what your body's asking for. That's what it's wired for. Sure, your conscious brain knows you're on a diet, but your sub thinks you're starving, so it does what it instinctively knows how to do to keep you alive. If your body doesn't believe that there's enough food or starts body's natural weight set point, it holds on to body fat and tries to pack on more because it's a great source of stored energy. It doesn't a famine or shortage, so it wants to stock up. That's why when people go off a diet, if the plan ends or if they fall off the wagon, they can put when they started. It's not because you failed or you're spiraling out of control or you're a broken food addict that can't stick to a plan. It's because putting on weight biologically to save you from this famine that you're putting yourself on. It's what's supposed to happen. So instead, that failure would trigger a new diet like I talked about before. So this time when you try to diet again, you want to be more rigid and more extreme than last time, a little bit harder to stick to, and you don't see results as quickly because your body has slowed down. It's, your metabolism isn't going as strong, you have and less muscle. Eventually, as soon as our guard goes down, we binge, feel guilty and horrible, like, what's wrong with me? Why am I so addicted to food? Ourselves on another diet for it to perpetuate the cycle. Our willpower is no match for our body's biology. Stepping out of the cycle is the way that we're trying so hard to get healthy is actually making us less healthy and mentally driving us crazy on top of it. But the great news is, feel they are down that never-ending cycle, it's never too late to bounce back from it. So the short answer is it's your body's fault, kind of, and the diet.
So the answer I think that I heard you say is that we need to, it is in our best interest to adjust our weight in small increments and to be satisfied with a very gradual change in our weight so that the changes in our diet can be very gradual and acceptable to our bodies and to our psyches. Is that so?
It depends. Everyone's body is different. Some people lose weight faster at first. Other people lose it slower. That you're going about doing it.
Okay. All right. So if it's not a diet and if it's not restricting, if going on a restrictive diet isn't going to do it, then what will?
Yeah, no, it's an amazing question. So it's definitely helpful to have a little off the bat for people that have been trying different ways of eating through diets and meal plans and food group restrictions. They're basically doing different methods of restrictions, but with kind of a different candy coating on it. And you can't expect to see different results by doing the same thing or type of approach. Have you ever read the book You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero?
No, but it sounds like it should go on my list.
Have to read it. It's such a good book. She talks about the story where a bird flew into her house and it was flying around and it was trying to escape by slamming himself into the window. She could imagine his frustration and confusion. Like, I can see the sky. It's right there. If I just fly hard enough and fast enough, I can reach it. And we torture ourselves trying to get there in a way that is not working. So I believe that the only tool you really need to get to your happy, confident, radiant self, really love food and have a great relationship with food and your body is your body. So despite what we've been taught, the body is not an enemy. Our bodies all instinctively know what they need in order for it to guide us to our happiest and healthiest self. But we first need our body's voice, understanding that she wants to be balanced, she wants to be healthy, and she wants to feel fabulous. And when we learn to listen to her, give her what she's asking for, that's when the magic happens. And the concept behind this is called intuitive eating. And it's one of the concepts that I utilize in the program that is super unique and different than traditional methods that many women have tried over the years. Intuitive eating is like one of those things just as stupidly simple as it is surprisingly hard, like meditating. The concept is so simple, sit there, think about nothing, but it's actually really hard.
Yeah.
And the approach is based on working with your body instead of against it. So you're working with your body for it to tell you the what, when, and should eat, instead of relying on external rules to tell you that. When we do that, we're silencing the very voice inside of us that's trying to give us that secret what our unique body wants and needs to look and feel like our best self. So for example, a lot of people come to me and we end up figuring out that enough because so-and-so told them to eat X number of calories or carbs a day, or that they're overeating because they've been conditioned to always finish their plate a certain amount of times a day, or they're feeling stressed and food helps distract them, or the restrictions they're putting on themselves, like super low carb diet, really, really hard to resist certain foods, and eating a small amount without binging is basically impossible. There is no diet program, calorie number, even the best nutritionist in the world knows your body better than your actual body. And since it can feel a little scary, especially myself, going from having a specific set of rules to follow to know if you're on track or not, to trusting the very body you feel has been failing now in all of your healthy eating attempts in the past, I feel like that's where working with a coach can make it really game changing. My program in particular is really structured these people up for the ultimate long-term success because it is customized specifically to them, helping them see results beyond just the lower. And it includes concepts like intuitive eating, overcoming limiting beliefs, self-sabotaging tendencies, mindful eating, and then a holistic nutrition that doesn't require measuring or counting. Because really, calories are meant to be enjoyed, not counted, in my opinion. And just doesn't mean that you can't look and feel fabulous. That's my thought on that.
Okay, very, very awesome, and I am in agreement with all of that. The question that came to my mind, a lot of our listeners will want to know, is how do you know if the signals that your body is sending you as to what to eat are truly what your body needs, or a result of some, I mean, like, if you're craving a Snickers bar, doesn't necessarily mean your body needs a Snickers bar, right? Or, how do you sort out?
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's where all the layers really come into play. So by first going into mindset. So if you're constantly telling yourself you can't have a Snickers bar, all you can think about is a Snickers bar. But if you tell yourself, I can have a Snickers bar whenever I want, it's all of a sudden less appealing.
Okay.
Big difference I want to ask with that, and just telling yourself you can have it whenever, than truly believing you can have it whenever. And that's a big difference between the eater when they're presented with something like that. The dieter is using their willpower to try to resist and try to resist, and ultimately they'll probably go crazy and over. Could take it or leave it, and if they decided to take it, they might only take a couple bites and not eat anymore, which was something that would have blown my mind if you told years ago when I was in the middle of it. Now I can eat like half a slice of pizza and be fine. Whereas before I would eat the entire pizza because I feel like because it was like a Last Supper mentality. I was like, oh, I'm never going to have pizza again because I'm going to be so good starting tomorrow. So I need to eat as much as I can today. So much of it is true.
Yeah, it completely is. One of the first things that I have my clients do is I wasn't sure if you were talking, is to keep a food journal and to write down what you're eating and write down why, how you feel about it before you start to eat it, how you feel while you're eating, and how you feel afterwards. And you discover things about yourself that you're eating, you're getting your signals mixed up. You think you're hungry, but
I do the exact same thing. It's so funny you say that. I call it a food mood journal. And it's a great first step in getting people to really separate the tie to food.
Yeah. And get connected with what's actually happening. I discovered for myself that sometimes I thought I was hungry, but I really wanted a nap. I was really tired. I really just wanted to rest for 20 minutes. So once I figured that out and took a nap and woke up, I'm like, it's like magic. So something discovered. So yeah, awesome. All right. Well, we have about 7 more minutes to fill. What kinds of tools or tricks can you, healthyeaton.com is where you can go and learn more about Samantha. She has an awesome blog that's got just great information about food substitutions, healthy alternatives for things that we use healthy very loosely, because healthy is in the eye of the body. So what's healthy? Yeah, so we're not cookie cutters. So what's healthy for Samantha is not necessarily healthy for me or you. But on this path, you can get started discovering what is for you specifically. So you can go to healthyeaton.com and look into her programs. And I'm going to send you to my websites here in just a second too. But before I do, what are things? Let's say that the Food Mood Journal is already on the table. Go do that, guys. Get yourself a journal and write down what you're eating and why. And don't change anything. Eat whatever it is that you're planning to eat anyway. But just get the information and get the knowledge and get the connection started between what's going on with your body and how that is manifesting into your actions and what the results of all that are. And do this for a week and see what kinds of things happen and what kinds of things come up for you. So there's one tool. Give us 2 more, Samantha.
I have a tool. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I have one that I can combine with another one. So this is a question I challenge my clients to ask themselves every time they decide to eat a meal. So the question is, what is one thing I can do to make this meal more? So to keep it really simple. So this can apply to people that are really in the beginner stage of wanting to try to eat healthier and develop that lifestyle, and the people further along in it. And this incorporates my second thing, which is called healthy food swaps. So for example, I love sweets. I could eat sweets and chocolate all day long. And I actually eat chocolate every single day. But I'm not eating a candy bar. I'm not eating a Hershey's bar. Something that tastes just as good, but it's in line with my health goals. So I know that if I eat it, it's going to help me look and feel as great as I want to. And I'm not feeling deprived because I'm giving into my cravings, but it's in a healthier way. So for example, if I want to eat a brownie and I'm like, all right, what's one thing I can do to make that brownie healthier? If you want a healthy version, maybe not having the Cool Whip on top, because immediately you're cutting down sugar by not having that Cool Whip on top. You're just having the brownie. Or to have the brownie with a handful, because nuts have healthy fats and protein, and it will help to balance out some of the sugar that's in the brownie. So those are two examples of the one-up healthier. For me, since I'm a little healthy eating journey, I might decide, like what I do often, if I want a brownie, I'm going to make myself a raw chocolate brownie. So I'll put ingredients, dates, cacao powder into my food processor, process it all up, and it tastes just like a brownie. But all of those ingredients have a, and eating that will give me great energy. It will keep me full for a long time. It will taste delicious. But eating a traditional brownie, I'll probably feel, because I'll have, and it's less in line with my goals. So I think those are two helpful things. See where you can make healthier swaps, versions of things, examples of that, healthy versions of protein bars, healthy like mac and cheese, queso dip. So you can still enjoy and you want to look and feel at the same time.
Awesome. That is absolutely awesome. So hang on, let me put your website on the screen one more time so that everybody knows how to find you. And
yeah, social media, I'm really active on Facebook as well. I have a private Facebook group called Fed Up Dieters Find Food Freedom, where I help them have had enough with their diets and they want to find a happier, more enjoyable way to look and feel their best that doesn't require that restriction.
okay, get this broadcast posted. I'll go and put a bunch of information in the comments and all of these links and things. The Facebook group is Fed Up Diet Freedom